Welcome back everyone to my Borussia M'Gladbach career on FIFA 15 and welcome to Season 3. I think it's fair to say that last season was a pretty successful year for Mönchengladbach in this career mode. We finished second in the Bundesliga by 10 or 13 points. Yeah, I know it's not that good, but it's an improvement on my first season. And we also made it through to the Champions League final against Borussia Dortmund. Unfortunately, we did lose that, but it was the fact that we overcame the odds. Who would have thought that we would have topped our group in a group which held Real Madrid, the most successful side when it comes to the Champions League? We overcame that, and we overcame the likes of PSG, another top side in Europe, Atletico Madrid. We got through to the final, and we just lost it because of a silly decision by the referee to award a penalty to Dortmund. Hopefully we can build on that this season and get through to the final and lift that piece of silverware. That would be amazing, obviously, but I think my main focus this year is to win the league title, the Bundesliga, and I think we can do it with the arrivals of Jan Vertonghen and Tolgay Arsian. They join us on a free, managed to get their pre-contract in there in January earlier last season. Maybe there'll be a couple of more signings as well, because as you saw at the start of this video, I've been handed a budget of 19 million to spend here in the summer. I was hoping for a little bit more, but that's FIFA for you, and hopefully for FIFA 16, EA sort that out so that your budget carries on over to the next season, or the board are more realistic. You know, if you get through to the final, they give you a little bit more to spend in the summer with all the revenue that the club had earned by reaching the final from TV deals, merchandise, tickets and so on. A bit like Football Manager. That would just be the icing on the cake, I think, for FIFA 16's career mode. So as you've just been seeing, we received a couple of offers for Max Kruse and Zeno Berahino. That was expected after such a successful season, especially with Berahino. He was the top goal scorer for us. He was also the top goal scorer in the Bundesliga. He was phenomenal last year, so it was kind of to be expected, having loads of offers being put on the table to acquire his services. But of course, my answer is going to be no, he's going nowhere unless the deal is right. I know that when I signed Berahino for the first time, I kind of overpaid for him. I know some of you guys were saying, you could have got him for 2.5 million, why are you spending 8 million on him? Well, maybe in the future, maybe this season or maybe next season, we can earn all that back and a little bit more for Berahino. We'll just have to see how it goes. Hopefully he has another successful season here at Borussia Mönchengladbach. Now that you can see, with the inclusion of Jan Vertonghen and also Tolgay Arsian, I've decided to change the formation for this season. Go for a 4-3-3, and you can see that the central defensive mid player is there, which will allow De Jong, the captain, to slip into that position, his perfect position. And Arsian will be able to come in, work central mid as well as Hazard, just building that squad depth. And don't forget, we've got Junuzovic, who was, again, another phenomenal breakout star for this team last season. Max Kruse will probably be working up front on his own with the help of his wingers on his left and his right, or I can switch that with Berahino. I kind of felt last season it didn't really work out the 4-4-2 diamond formation, because I had Berahino and Kruse up front. Whereas I didn't feel as though that worked out too much. We weren't grabbing as many goals as I wanted, especially in those games against the smaller sides where we should have been dominating. I was kind of struggling. Even though we finished second in the Bundesliga, I didn't feel satisfied with our performance. It could have been a lot better in those games against the smaller sides. The bigger games, we were okay. Again, could have been a lot better. And, you know, something I want to work on this season as well is actually beating Bayern Munich. I'm yet to do it, and we're into our third season with Mönchengladbach, so that's another target for me to work towards this season. As you can see, the offers just kept rolling in for Max Kruse and Berahino. Stoke City coming in with the best bid so far for Kruse for 10.5. They desperately wanted his services, but again, rejected it. Now, this is where it gets good. I've put in an offer for Thiago from Bayern Munich. He's hardly getting first team football at Bayern Munich, so I think it's wise for him to come and join us and strengthen that midfield of ours, which desperately needs doing, especially after we lost Xhaka last season in January to Wolfsburg. So a rebuilding stage is kind of there. Yes, we've got De Jong for maybe another season, so got to be thinking about the future. More offers coming in for Berahino, left, right and centre. Ajax in there, Schalke in there. Best offer has definitely come from Schalke so far. 7 million for Berahino, the 22-year-old centre-forward. Again, rejecting that bid. And it was only a matter of time before we started getting bids from teams for Jan Sommer, who was just brilliant last season between the sticks for Mönchengladbach. Stuttgart offered 12.5, reject. Man United came in with a bid for Max Kruse for 9 million. Not going to happen. He was just reject central. Bayern Munich placed a price tag on Thiago's head. They wanted 17.5 million for him. I offered 15 million, looking to blow the majority of my transfer budget for the summer. Everything should be okay though, because I plan to maybe sell 1 or 2 players as well, so we could get a bit more revenue back in that sense. So I think we're going to be okay. I'm not planning on going over the top and completely transforming this team by bringing in maybe 6 or 7 players this summer. But the main news is that Thiago, who is a quality central midfielder who can help us get the job done to compete against his former side when it comes to the Bundesliga, to compete in the Champions League. Imagine that partnership of Thiago and De Jong. It's going to be brilliant. I did receive an offer for Wolfgang Hessel. Hardly got any first team football for us last season. I did only sign him as like a backup keeper to Jan Sommer. He's not liking it at the moment. He's not liking the fact that he's warming the bench. So I decided to go ahead and accept that offer from Werder Bremen. So he is gone for 1.7 mil. So again, that's a bit more money put back into our account. And the big news is that Thiago has accepted my contract offer. He is going to be on 90 grand a week. The transfer deal, 15 million. That's how much he's cost us. He is now part of the Mönchengladbach dynasty. We are building something special here, guys, and I think this season it's certainly got to be better than the previous 2 seasons. Last season we exceeded expectations by finishing second, by getting to the Champions League final. Imagine what we're going to do this season. And then look at this for huge news. I haven't seen this on career mode before because Messi just costs too much, but Bayern Munich are in talks to bring Messi to the Bundesliga. That would be incredible. See that happen. Obviously, I wouldn't be too impressed having to come up against Bayern Munich after I've said that I wanted to actually beat them for the first time in this career mode. Now, normally I'd show you guys all the highlights from all 3 pre-season friendlies. I'm not going to be doing that in this episode. I'm just going to be showing you my favourite goals that I scored in our pre-season. And the majority of those came in this game against Valencia at home. You can see that Junazovic feeds the ball through here to Max Kruse, who is just looking on form ahead of the brand new Bundesliga season. He grabbed his second goal against Valencia, just showing Mönchengladbach's pure dominance. Great bit of play from Junazovic with great vision, feeding the ball through for Kruse to hit first time. And this one coming up right now has to be the cheekiest of all cheeky goals. Stocker almost let the ball roll out for a goal kick, and look at that, guys. Look at that for a finish from Max Kruse. Yes, it was his hat-trick, and what a way to round off a perfect game for Kruse. Jan Vertonghen did so well to bring that ball down, to control it and hit it first time, finding his teammate Kruse. And just look at that, it's so cheeky just watching it over and over again from Vertonghen. That little back heel, so simple but yet so effective, getting that third goal. I feel as though I could just watch that over and over and over again. I mean, look at the skill, look at the cheekiness from Kruse. He is cruising at the moment for Borussia Mönchengladbach. He's in such fine form, and it's performances like that that will see him grab a first team spot ahead of the brand new season. Now moving on to our last pre-season friendly. This goal came from none other than Thiago, who's just recently signed for Mönchengladbach, as you know, from Bayern Munich for the sum of 15 million. And it was sweetly hit, sweetly timed, and it's Junazovic in there again with another assist. Hit it first time, curl it round the defenders, curl it round the keeper. a perfect goal. We are raring to go now, guys, for the brand new Bundesliga season. I'm ready, and I hope you guys are too. And just to finish up this episode, we did receive a couple more transfer offers. One for Nordveit from Hoffenheim for 3.5 million. I did go ahead and reject that, even though his form is bad and that his morale, he is unhappy at the moment. CSKA Moscow came in with a bid for Max Kruse. They obviously saw his cheeky goal and thought, I fancy a bit of that, but I decided to reject again. He ain't going anywhere. Also, I'm on the lookout for a new goalkeeper, a new backup keeper that I can use throughout the season. I was split between Vaughan from Tottenham or Tim Krul from Newcastle. You guys will find out who I go after in the next episode. Some bad news heading into the brand new season. A bit of a setback for Mönchengladbach. Jan Vertonghen is going to be out for 3 weeks with injury. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there. Hope you've all enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next one.